Let's see some more games from our publishing and development partners.
Yes! Yes! Here we go. Parallel story? Okay, finally settled on a name for this kind of story. Oh, wow, what? Launch day!
Hi, I'm Randy from Gearbox. Borderlands 4, our upcoming...
Woo! You saw that, Frisk? I was waiting to... I'm sitting here like, okay, now I can stop. I don't need to watch the rest. I'm going to, but like, that was what I was waiting on more than just about anything else. Launch day. So he finally came up with a name for it because he had been like, well, it's not a sequel, it's not a prequel, I don't know what you'd call it, so he finally decided to call it the Parallel Game. Alright, I'll go ahead and watch the rest. But I was waiting for that. So, like, everybody's been like, Deltarune tomorrow, you know? And I was like, I know it's not going to be like that because it's going to be paid, so there wasn't going to be like a big Gaster thing on Blue Sky or whatever. But, you know, we were all trying to figure out, you know, what date. And I honestly was expecting it to be in October or September because that's when all the others released, was pretty much around Halloween. This was in June. I'm gonna have to look some stuff up after this is done because I need to know how much the Switch is gonna cost and how much Deltarune is gonna cost. The Deltarune.com FAQ page has been updated. There's a few things worth noting in here. Let's go through it. First of all, Deltarune is going to be $24.99, which for 7 chapters that are, at least the first 2, have each been long enough to be considered a game in and of themselves. I don't know how much maybe taxes and stuff will add to this. I'm never good at figuring that out. But we're looking at under $30 for 7 chapters. So that's, what, $4.25 a chapter, something like that. That's pretty good. He's still practically giving this stuff away. And then additional chapters, the other 3 chapters of the game, are going to be free. Basically releasing everywhere on June 5th. I believe it's everything is releasing on June 5th. Still ironing out the details on how to get it on both Switch and Switch 2. Well, the Switch 2 is new, and with the Switch 2 special editions, I'm sure that indie devs that are trying to adapt to that probably are having to iron out a lot of details. So, and same thing for PS4 and PS5. No physical copy yet. Probably you will be able to order a special edition through Fangamer once they have an opportunity to actually make that, but they've been busy just trying to crank the game out on all platforms in time for the Switch 2 launch. I'd kind of figured that was what Toby might be going for, that he was waiting for the Switch 2 before actually releasing, because he's been like teasing us for a few months now how close it is to being ready. I did not expect it to actually be a launch day release. I was thinking probably sometime this fall, you know, around September, October, like the first 2 chapters in like Undertale. But between PC and console version, almost exactly the same. Check out the newsletter for more specifics. I haven't read the newsletter yet. Yeah, they're still planning the rest of it, I just know there are people that are gonna analyze that more chapters, because there's people that wanna that think there might be more than 7 chapters. Interestingly enough, even though he still said he's calling it a parallel game, he hasn't, at least not yet, updated the FAQ to do that. He still says, I don't know what you call this kind of game. Still says that doesn't mean there will be no connections at all. Chapter 5 is in development. The demo is done. Hey, in all fairness, that's 2 chapters that take, unless you're speed running, it takes at least 2-3 hours to get through the first 2 chapters, or at least for me it does. So it's the length of a full game. It's a shorter game, to be sure, but it's still the length of a full game. You spend a good chunk of time on it. So I feel like 2 chapters for free. You know, we've been spoiled. We've been spoiled real bad. One ending. More important than reaching the end. This one's funny. I hid the email address somewhere in this world. See if you can find it. Oh, I didn't hide it very well. The annoying dog is still at it. Soundtrack. This is interesting. I don't remember this line before. I think it's just a thank you to all of us that have kept an eye on it. Any closing remarks? Thanks for taking an interest in this game. I don't believe my game is for everyone, but to a certain type of people, turned a certain type of way. This game can reach a meaning beyond its appearance and find a shape in your heart. Even if there's just one person that feels that way, I will keep making this game to grow by your side. See you again soon. Can I full screen the game? Press Alt plus Enter or F4, but not Alt plus F4. Nice. I've seen this glitch before. There are 2 hearts on the screen and I can move one of them around freely. That's a glitch. Does that mean there are 2 souls, or that, no, it's a glitch? I don't know if this is new, but I personally have not, I don't remember seeing it before. Yeah, it's not available in other languages besides English and Japanese, at least not yet. My personal thinking is that's simply because Toby doesn't speak any other languages. We know that he works very closely with the Japanese localization team. He learned Japanese himself and speaks it very fluently, if with a slightly unusual accent at times. I would say that if it's not in any other languages, it's probably because he doesn't speak any other languages, because, you know, he's being very meticulous about making sure that the original intent of every nuance of the story is going into the Japanese version as well, to the point where people can analyze the Japanese pronouns and figure out, you know, new things about Papyrus and Gaster. I think this was already there. If it wasn't, it's new. It's not something I need to worry about anyway. Don't try to work for Toby. They don't need more members, okay? And then contact information. So this has been updated. Now, I do not remember if this was here before, if there were 2 different versions of Deltarune on Steam before, but there is now. The demo is still up for free, and then there's the Deltarune page, which I'm looking at, and I don't think anything is actually changed here, really. other than it being given a release date. It still says chapters 3 through 5 are not in development. I imagine that's going to get updated at some point, but so far this is what it says. See, I didn't realize that he had put this in the newsletter. I probably should have thought to check. I didn't, so I didn't have a chance to do a live react to this on Twitch, so this is my live react to it now. Chapters 1 through 4, release date announcement. Let's get to the point. Release date. Release on June 5th, 2025. PC, Mac, Nintendo Switch, and PlayStation like before, and now also Nintendo Switch 2 and PlayStation 5. There's a trailer. Price. Deltarune will cost $24.99. You only have to buy the game once. Upcoming chapters will be added as free updates. Of course, that means you only have to buy the game on each platform once. Hopefully there will be crossover. You can transfer it from PS4 to PS5, from Switch to Switch 2. That makes sense. That's not factored into the cost, though. I only feel right charging for what there currently is, not what I say there will be. Therefore, this $24.99 to me represents the exact price of 4 chapters. But it's my hope that as we complete more chapters, you'll feel like this game was a super, 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 super good deal. Just wait, I'll prove it to you. Also, the soundtrack on Steam will cost $14.99. With the release of Chapter 3 and 4, it'll contain over 150 songs. And if you buy the soundtrack on Steam, every time a chapter is added, you'll get those tracks too. Isn't the value actually a little too good? Hyperventilating and drools on it. If you've already been buying the individual chapter soundtracks on Bandcamp, Chapters 3 and 4 will be released as a separate release there as well. I'm not sure what to make of the annoying dog in the box. Steam wishlist. I never asked anyone to wishlist the game on Steam. I don't know what it does or what it's for, but if the game's coming out, that means there's only a little time left to get the top of the rankings. Alright, let's go, guys. Let's get that number 1 spot. Somehow, after linking it, its ranking dropped abruptly. What are the symbols coming out of their little mouths? Oh, it's the Steam icon. Blah. They're eating the Steam icon. That's funny. Console differences. As an effort to make the most of being a launch title for the Nintendo Switch 2, that is a extremely big deal as well. I really wanted to try to do something special. We made a very small special room which takes advantage of using mouse controls on 2 controllers at once, only possible on the Nintendo Switch 2. You can see it in the trailer. But don't worry, even if you can't get your hands on a Nintendo Switch 2 right away, the other versions of the game also have the special room with a completely different control scheme. To clarify, all non-Nintendo Switch 2 versions have the exact same content as each other. They just play differently. There is no meaningful difference in content, amount, dialogue, setting, music, etc. between any version, so you will have a full package of fun no matter which you get. No one gets left out. So, I wish he would update Undertale in the same way, but that's never going to happen. Just to clarify for the cats in the back, no matter what version you buy, everyone gets Pluie for free. What the heck is a Pluie? He's still making me wait 2 months to find out what the heck this Pluie is that they implemented. Other differences. Nintendo Switch 2. Unique special small room can import save files from Switch demo of Deltarune Chapter 1 and 2, can import save files from the Nintendo Switch version of Deltarune, the full game too. Switch import save files from the demo. You get to watch the cute loading screen longer than other consoles. Convenience of having it on your PC. Recommended control scheme for the non-Nintendo Switch 2 special room. Wait, is this coming out on Xbox as well? No, it's not coming out on Xbox. Somehow I missed that. Okay. Well, Xbox enjoyers don't get to enjoy. Yet. PS4 and PS5 versions can import save files from the PS4 demo of Deltarune Chapter 1 and 2. PS5 version can import save files from PS4. We were required to have trophies. This time they give rise to a pretty hardcore challenge, but, and please listen, I make no endorsement that you actually attempt it. Even knowing of its mere existence will only bring you frustration and anguish. Honestly, it may be one of the worst ideas I've ever had. Perhaps no one will even try. Maybe that's for the best after all. I think it will be too late for most of you anyway. I wonder if Pluie is in any way related to the trophies. Overall, all of these differences are very slight. No matter what version you get, it'll be great. Conclusion. Well, the game is coming out. Isn't that swell? Conclusion again. Seriously, I have never seen the annoying dog look so stressed. Seriously, I've been duct taped over, tied up to a chair, locked in a box, thrown to the bottom of the ocean, dragged around like an anchor, etc., etc. That's what it was like up until now. Now I can say it. Deltarune Chapters 1 through 4 releases on June 5th, 2025. Isn't that swell? They wouldn't let him say anything until the direct, so that's it. Okay, that's the, what's it called? The Shadow Man or something like that? Oh, I love their outfits. They're so cute. This right here, R and L, this just about has to be the scene, the room that he said he made special for the Switch 2 mouse. Switch mouse. Switch mouse, I like that. This is the new annoying mouse room. And, well, I'm not getting past this. I'm so bad at rhythm games. Oh. Popularity. Did you see that color change? What's with that? What's with that? That looks like I'm not suggesting a reference or anything. But it almost looks like Half-Bred Chaos's sprite that they use in their video. Okay, now this is something I really want to point out. So, Chapter 1 is waiting. We have King, who is the final boss. Chapter 2 is waiting. We have Queen, specifically Giga Queen, who is the final boss. Chapter 3 is waiting. We have Mike, Tenna, whatever the heck it's called. So it's confirmed that I'm like 95% positive that this serves as confirmation of this as the final boss. Another thing that I noticed, look at the photorealistic old TV set around here. I have no idea whether that is the way that it's actually going to look, or if this is just, for the trailer. But that's kind of interesting. And the fact that we've got this realistic looking thing back here, plus a face and a TV screen, it's giving Omega Flowey vibes. Flowey's face on a TV screen, and the whole thing was done in like Photoshop and looked, if not realistic, certainly wasn't pixel art. I'm not necessarily saying there is a connection to Omega Flowey. I'm just saying it's giving that kind of a vibe for me. Also, I hope the fight doesn't go down like that. Ooh, Omega Flowey is a nightmare. Bleh. And what is this? It's like the Deltarune symbol on the magic glass stuff. It's got the, now I don't know, maybe that's just an effect that they put on it for the trailer, but their sprites are discolored. They're kind of shifted towards neutral tones. And what are these things? All I can think is that they look like the dust bunnies in Celeste, the Celestial Resort. But they're like chasing us and jumping after us. I have no idea what this is. And this. The sepia colored artwork. Also, that's Timmy's artwork, for sure. The sepia colored artwork is that they're not bringing, the roaring isn't gonna happen already, is it? Couldn't be. Like, I don't know about anybody else, but I was thinking the roaring would be like in the last chapter, maybe next to last chapter, and this is the roaring, and this is when it's happening, and now, is that gonna happen like already in one of the next 2 chapters already? If that's the case, then it's confirmed that Rouse actually is the Prince of the Dark. Because that's Rouse for sure, right there. Little goat boy. And also another thing, it keeps saying is waiting. Plus this fade out to white is similar to like when in Undertale you fall down. Well, you fall down a lot in Undertale. When Undyne knocks you off the bridge, she chops the bridge off, and you fall into the dump, and you see Azrael talking to you, and it fades out into white. It fades out into white. That's kind of what it looks like there. And it says, is waiting. It keeps saying, is waiting. I don't know if that's just for the trailer, if that phrase is just for the trailer, or if it is going to be a phrase that comes up in one of these next 2 chapters. I don't know. What is 8-4? To clarify, all little goat boy. Goat.